Today I'm going to review this 8-quart Instant Pot Duo. I have only had this for about a month, but I've used it several times. However, I have a 6-quart Instant Pot that I've been using for years. So in the review, I will be discussing both like the difference in the size and also, just the Instant Pot in general if you have not used one before. So first off, if you have just not used the Instant Pot before, it is a pressure cooker. So it does lock down like that when it is closed. It has the gasket here that you can remove and buy new ones, or you can take it out and clean it in between uses also. On the top here it has, this is where the vent is, and it has a switch here on whether you have it on vent or seal. Okay, and as you can see, it does have several different button options. Most of these are going to be the pressure cook option. It does have a yogurt, which is very specific instructions that would need its own video, and it does have slow cook and saute. Honestly, I don't use any of that very much. I mostly just use it as like a pressure cooker, or I do my bone broth in it. And you can of course always keep it just on manual and select the amount of time that you would like for it to cook. That's very much going to vary depending on what you're cooking. You can cook beans, you can cook meat, you can cook just about anything in these. Today I'm going to be cooking a chicken that is partially frozen. The reason I did upgrade into the larger Instant Pot is because the chickens I had this year were just too big for my 6-quart. I couldn't get them in there. Now a regular chicken at the store is going to fit in there. But the home-raised ones that we had this year are quite large. Okay, and it will also come with a little stand in here that you can use if you're doing eggs or anything that you're steaming that you want up off of the bottom of the pan. Okay, so for the chicken, I just put the salsa that I want on it in like a cup of water because it is still partially frozen, so it doesn't need a ton of water in there with it. And you lock it down like that, and you're going to have it on seal and pressure cook. And I'm going to start it out on about 20 minutes, and then I'll let it natural release, and then I will check and make sure that the temperature is good. I can always add more time if I need to. Okay, so just quickly, this is after the 20 minutes of pressure cooking and then natural released for 40 minutes. I didn't need quite that long. I was just busy doing other things. But it is fully cooked. This is what it looks like. Okay, and real quick, I was going to show you how I go ahead and make the bone broth after my chicken. You just put everything that you want in here for your broth with your chicken carcass. You fill it up to that max fill line right there. Okay, lock that back down. And you're going to hit the soup broth button. And I set it for 3 hours and 30 minutes. And then I'm going to let it sit. And then I will run it again for an hour and 20 minutes. And then let it sit. And then you just strain it and you have really good bone broth. Thank you. And you can see I got a full gallon of really dark, nice